Here we go. Okay. I'd like to call the Village of Ashwaubenon Board meeting for Tuesday, July 24th to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Paul.
Present.
Trustee Zerbal. Here. Trustee Mark Williams.
Here.
Trustee Bukowski.
Yeah, as always, here.
Trustee Melchesky.
Here.
President Kardasky.
Here.
We're under the assumption Trustee Allison Williams is en route.
Okay, please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And please remember all the men and women that we have throughout the country and the world. Okay, I have no changes to the agenda. If there are none, I need a motion to approve.
So
Move
moved.
to approve the agenda as
Second.
presented.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Action on open and closed minutes from June 26, 2018, regular meeting.
I can't do that one.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve those all those minutes. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Number 6, comments from the public must be limited to items not on the agenda. Anybody like to say anything about something not on tonight's agenda? Anybody for something not on tonight's agenda? Hearing none, let's move on. Number 7, written communications or announcements. 7A is the National Night Out. Chief, did you want to say anything about National Night Out?
National Night Out's coming up Tuesday, August 7th from 6 to 9. Check the village website, your local neighborhoods. We have our host homes are listed out there, so you're more than welcome. If someone's in your area, please show up. Come out and meet your friends and neighbors.
Thank you. It's a wonderful event. Last year, I don't remember exactly how many we had. I didn't pace myself very well. I think I only made 9 of them, and I didn't get home until 20 after 9. So it's really a very exciting event. So if your neighbors are there doing National Night Out, you should join them and think about doing it next year on your own. So
Chief, a quick question. Is your presence going to be seen by some of these people that are doing that?
Oh, yes.
I
yes.
mean, I know you do ride around, but it will be the same this year?
Yep, I'm waving my fee to show up, so I'll try.
That's very nice of you.
Thank you. No, but I try to make it, I'm planning starting from the south and making my way north this year, so.
Okay, very good.
We'll have the police cars, fire trucks, some other special guest vehicles out and around, and I know the kids are always asking about the fire trucks, the foam. We'll make our way around, so.
I know last year I started in the southern end of the village. I started at Sand Acres Park and worked my way to the north. So this year I'm starting on the north and I'm working my way to the south.
Pace yourself.
Yeah, last year we had 13 host homes, and we have 11 this year, so.
Okay, well, 2 less homes, maybe I'll make it to all of them. I'm trying. Okay. 8, action on the consent agenda, which is a request to approve operator license, June general fund financials, budgeted expenditures, and department reports. Would anybody like anything pulled?
If not, no, go ahead, Mark.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Number 9, public hearing. Public hearing on ordinance number 07-3-18, rezoning a portion of parcel VA 140-7 from general business B2 to community business B3 located at 2491 Babcock Road in the village of Ashwaubenon in Brown County, Wisconsin. Is there anyone here who would like to speak for or against in this public hearing? Anybody like to speak for or against in this public hearing? Anybody like to speak for or against in this public hearing?
Move to return the regular order of business.
Second.
Motion and a second to close the hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Okay, number 10. 10A, action on ordinance number 07-3-18, rezoning a portion of parcel VA 140-7 from general business B2 to community business B3, located at 2491 Babcock Road in the village of Ashwaubenon, Brown County, Wisconsin. Mr. Gerbers.
A little background and real quickly, this is the, I guess it'd be the north, I think it'd be the northeast corner, northeast corner of the intersection there. Currently there's a building there, it's the United Employee Services Building. What they're looking at doing is actually, they did go through and get a CSM for that site to split it into 2 parcels. That is still in the process of being recorded at Brown County. What they're asking for at this point is to take that southern portion, which is right along 172, and zone that to community business for potential development. It is a restaurant, what they're looking at going in there. That would be coming through site plan, I believe in the next month, as what's planned to do right now. At this point, they would be tearing down the existing building because it would be built over the property line. And they would also not have any additional plans for the northern portion at this time. It would be left vacant. The reason why we are open from a staff perspective of that corner, it is on the the highway portion. We would not be supportive at this time along North Road. So therefore, the request is only for the southern portion of this parcel.
So general business would not allow what they want to put up if they leave it as general business?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, Todd, this has been brought to us, to our attention before, hasn't it?
Yes, it's been through Plan Commission, and Plan Commission
Right.
approved the CSM and the rezoning request.
Okay. If there's no other,
Well, I got a question.
pardon?
I got a question.
Okay, well,
Is it gonna increase the traffic on that corner right now for getting in and out of there? That's a busy intersection right there, and if you put a restaurant on the corner,
It will be probably more traffic than what the Oneida had there with their building. I don't personally foresee it being that much of a traffic generator. That is going to screw up any kind of traffic, or it is a controlled intersection with the stop and go lights. They will have one access point only off of Babcock. Then, of course, it cannot get anything off of 172, and of course, it wouldn't come off of North Road. There will be additional traffic, but we anticipate most will be going back on the highway.
I think it'll be able to get out of there, though. Once you get in there is one thing, but getting out of that, if it's a busy location, it's gonna hard to get out to get onto the highway.
Correct. We haven't seen the actual plan as far as how far the driveway is going to be located to the north on that parcel. But we anticipate that they'll be taking that into account, and it's something that we'll watch very closely when it comes to site plan. Because it is definitely a concern, plus I would think they'll also have limitations because of the proximity to the highway. I'm sure there'll be some kind of stacking conditions that must be maintained there from the highway department.
Is there any plans to redo 172? I heard years ago, or a couple of years ago, that there was supposed to be something there.
You're right, many years ago.
There isn't anything coming on 172 for a number of years. There was discussion at one point in time, if you remember, they were going to put Babcock over the top of 172. All of those plans have been set aside. From the last I heard, it's going to be about another 15 to 17 years before they entertain 172 work.
Okay.
Doug, wasn't that brought up when the 41 corridor was being rebuilt? Didn't they come in front of us and ask, or somebody came up in front of us and asked about that intersection because of the traffic issues?
Yes,
People were concerned about that.
correct.
I think that came in existence with the bridge that we had the option to put across.
Correct.
Or not put across. Okay.
Okay.
All right, if there's no other questions, I'll move to approve the ordinance number 07-3-18, rezoning the portion of parcel VA-140-7.
Second.
Located at Babcock and for general business. Go.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve ordinance number 07-3-18. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 10B, audit review for 2017.
The village,
Mr. Wenhold.
yeah, the village contracts with Schenck to do our annual audit, and Dave Mako is here to present the findings for you.
Good evening. You should have a comprehensive annual financial report and management communications. We'll go through the comprehensive annual financial report briefly. It is a comprehensive annual financial report because it contains a number of sections that the Government Finance Officers Association requires governments to include in their audit report. So the table of contents goes through all the different sections. Just a couple things to point out. If we turn to page 6, there's a certificate of excellence in financial reporting. That means that the village's prior year audit report met high standards in comprehensive annual financial report, met high standards for financial reporting. So we believe the current document meets those high standards, but it's a very compliment to the staff here at the village to receive this award. Then the only other thing I want to just briefly talk about is the independent auditors report on pages 10, 11, and 12. This is really our report to the village board. We talk about the financial statements that are contained within the document. We indicate that they come directly from the financial records that you see on a monthly basis. So these are really coming from your financial statements. Our responsibility is to express an opinion. So what that means is we perform tests of the appropriateness of some of the disclosures, some of the balances, and then issue an opinion. If we turn to the top of page 11, our opinion was unmodified, which means that we believe the financial statements you have in front of you present fairly in all material respects the financial position and results of operations.
Are you on the right page? Are we the same page?
Yeah, he's reading off the CAFR. I don't believe you have the full CAFR with you.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I gave you snippets of it, but it is available online for anyone to view.
So yeah, so
Apologies.
that just briefly, and then we're going to go into the second document, kind of where it pulls out the stapled copy that you got
Okay.
today. So key thing is this financial report really meets high standards of financial reporting and takes a while for the village staff to prepare for, and is well done for the village. The second document is the management communications. Here we pull out key information out of the audit report. The first 4 pages of this document walk through the financial reporting, it walks through the audit report, it walks through the results of the audit, and it walks through any problems or concerns that we had as part of the audit. If you go through the first 4 pages.
What page are you on?
I'm on page 3 right now. Page 3 talks about if we had any difficulties, any uncorrected misstatements, disagreements. You know, if we had any of those, they would be isolated on page 3. Page 3 indicates if you go through each of these areas, the audit from our perspective went very well. The staff here at the village were prepared when we came in, and that we had no disagreements as part of the audit. Our audit went right according to plan of how we anticipated the audit to go. So very clean audit from our perspective. Then if we turn to pages 5 and 6, pages 5 and 6 are the independent auditors report on internal controls. And this is a required communication that we make to the village board. It talks about the fact that when we look at the financial statements, we're looking at the financial information contained in those documents. But as a governmental entity, both internal controls and compliance with laws and regulations are very important. And then so pages 5 and 6, as you walk through, you'll see that we had no internal control deficiencies, meaning the systems of controls over the village operations were functioning appropriately. And compliance on other matters, we had no items of non-compliance. So very clean opinion on internal controls. Then if we turn to page 7, we have a number of pages of financial information. I'm just going to hit some of the highlights. Certainly if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to go through any questions. But you know, when we're looking at the first governmental fund balances, what you're really looking at is what is the fund balance? How did the fund balance change from last year to this year? You like to focus on your general fund, and your general fund did go up. Last year you had a fund balance of about 5.4 million. This year your fund balance is about 7.8. Major reason for that is twofold. One is revenues, additional revenues. You received about $1.8 or $1.9 million settlement, part of the park remediation that you were able to put aside for future projects. And also, you had a very good budget year from an expenditure side. So very positive of how you're managing your resources. The rest of the funds are pretty much consistent. You do have a couple tax increment districts that are in a deficit, but those are really because you've expended dollars up on the front of the projects and going to recover the increments going forward into the future. So, it's nothing unusual with that, but, very positive overall governmental fund balances. Then page 8 just kind of walks through each of the districts and the amount that is to be recovered. So what happens with each district is you outlay expenditures, issue long-term debt, or spend down fund balance, and then could recover it from future increments. When you look at some of the activities, TIF 3 has a stronger tax increment, so your tax increment for 3 is going to approximately balance the principal and interest due. 4 has a strong tax levy compared to the interest, and 5 is really in its infancy stage, so you're not getting a levy or an increment for 2018. So very normal for that from an early in a project period. Then pages 9, 10, and 11 focus on your utility operations. Page 9 is a water utility, which is regulated by the PSC. If you look at the activities from year to year, you'll notice that very consistent. You did have a slight drop in consumption in 2017 that really results in a operating loss, but overall no real concerns. Operating expenses stayed a little bit under last year. You do have a slight rate of return deficit, but because a lot of your operating costs is depreciation, which is non-cash, from a cash flow perspective, you still have positive cash flow. Okay. Any questions on that? And then page 11 goes through the sewer utility. Sewer utility, once again, very consistent operations between the 2 years, no real fluctuations, and the cash flow shows you had a positive cash flow in your sewer. Now, water and sewer, because they're relying on operations, we always review in the fall with the staff here at the village your current state of each of those utilities and looking at a projection of where those funds are going over into the future. So any questions on that? Then the next page really talks about your internal service funds. Both are in good shape. No real concerns from our perspective on either of the funds. They are heavily reliant on insurance benefits to your employees, and both have adequate net position going forward. And then page 13 goes through your CDA, and it shows that the lease revenues are coming in to pay the debt service, and you have a slight fund balance within your CDA. So all positive news, no other comments or observations as part of our audit, which means that from our perspective, the village is doing a very excellent job managing the financial affairs. And with that, I'll entertain any questions anyone may have.
I don't have a question. I would just like to say that these reports are really easy, and they're easy for you to go through when we have a great financial department that
Exactly.
Greg and his staff do a great job.
Yep.
Thank you, Greg.
Wow. Was Greg there during all of this, or was he on vacation?
Wow.
Tough audience.
We're just kidding. This whole department does a nice job.
Yes.
And under our village management and our village president, they all do a great job.
Yep, exactly. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Receive it?
Yeah,
To
should we have a
approve it?
motion to receive and place on file?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and place on file. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Just a quick question, Allison, what is an annual audit? I mean, I know we're required to do it. Roughly, what do these things cost? A lot? Oh, okay, all right. That's a lot of money, but I thought it frankly would have been more. Okay, thank you.
communities hire a company like Shank to do all of it, including the final report. What happens is they come in and do the audit and pull documents and talk to people, but Greg does a lot of the legwork behind that.
Okay.
Cooperation with them.
All right, thank you.
Okay, 10C, action on premise description amendment, Ultimate Mart LLC, DBA Pick and Save number 8107.
Madam President, I'm going to abstain from any discussion or vote on this.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Okay, Patrick.
Before you is, as noted, premise description amendment for Pick and Save. The Pick and Save stores have a new program entitled Click List, which allows customers to submit online ordering, whether it be groceries, alcohol, or tobacco products. And it's a new delivery system. Mr. Dan Farrell, Vice President of Roundy Supermarkets, is here if you have any questions for him in regard to the program.
Does anybody have any questions? I know at the Public Works Committee, it passed. There's a system that they have in place that, you know, they have to check the ID of the person that they're delivering to, and so
Yeah,
there's questions.
They call them shoppers. The employees are shoppers. They have to be licensed, operator's license, and they would do the carding of the, would be the driver of the vehicle or all occupants of the vehicle, I guess, for clarification, Mr. Farrell.
Good evening. Thank you for hearing our request tonight. Dan Farrell, Vice President of Real Estate for Roundy Supermarkets, Inc. So the answer is, that's correct. We would card the person that's picking up the product. They would be carded at the time that they drive up, and so we would be giving possession of somebody that we've carded. If there's an underage person in the car, if it's an adult, you know, situation, we wouldn't obviously card them. But if it's youth and there's any concern about the alcohol ending up in underage hands, then we as well would card them, and we would not deliver the product if we felt that it was going to somebody that wasn't rightfully entitled to obtain that product.
So basically, this is the first I've heard of this, but I'm not on that committee, so they call in and order it, they drive up to the side of the building there, and you bring it out.
Yeah, so what it is it's a part of a full, generally a part of a full shopping order. So you can order your weekly groceries and include alcohol, you know, tobacco, beer, what have you, as a part of that order. So when you pull up, if in fact any of the items that are regulated are part of that order, that's where we would make sure that the appropriate procedures, no different than inside the store, would be followed at that delivery point. So because the transaction is taking place at the vehicle, we need to incorporate the vehicle location into our liquor premises, because otherwise we would be delivering liquor outside of the licensed premises.
So why can't we just have them pick up the liquor inside? I mean, if that's the only thing, I mean, it seems like.
Correct. And so really what this is the main reason that we see so far that customers use the online ordering program is that they don't have to necessarily go in the store on that particular trip. I'm not saying they don't go in the store and shop at other points, but for this particular trip, they want to do an online order for a reason, whether they're going to be time-strapped, whether they've got kids with them that they don't want to remove from the car, whether they're elderly and they, you know, have a problem, you know, shopping and walking the premises. Those are most of the reasons we find people are using it. Obviously, it's just an overall convenience, so others use it as well. But we see that if they had to do 2 transactions, buy everything other than alcohol in 1 transaction on online order, and then go into the premises, it kind of defeats the purpose of the transaction being an online, and they never need to leave their vehicle to complete their order.
Is there other places around that are doing this?
We're doing it in a number of locations. We're a division of Kroger. Kroger has been doing this for a number of years throughout a number of states. They've got over 1,000 operating units, and so we've got policies and procedures that we've inherited, if you will, from them to make sure that we've got the checks and balances in place so that alcohol doesn't end up in the hands of somebody that can't legally purchase it.
Chief, do you have any issues with this?
I do not have any issues. Our issue, or I would say issues, our concerns were addressed already with the licensed people delivering the product and proper IDs and so forth. And I believe one of the questions from the trustees, I believe you're doing this on the east side of Green Bay already at your other location.
That's correct.
So, and reached out to our Green Bay counterparts, and they've not had any issues.
You know, I had the honor of speaking with our clerk this afternoon regarding the same subject. Mark Sams is another one that is in the process of doing this right now. You can go to some of your restaurants today and have carryouts, and liquor is a part of it today. Now, are they carding? I think he's got a better system than what I'm aware of with the restaurants doing the same thing. At least we know he is giving it to the people that are of age. The restaurants, I don't know if I got a problem with it, but I know they're doing the same thing, so.
I mean, I know that.
Convenience is the word.
I know that out west, they have drive out liquor. I mean, I've seen those things. It's just like going to McDonald's where you pull up and you order what you want and you get it. And I know they've had problems with it out there, you know, from where I saw it, but it's like, I don't want to be that community that does that. I don't know. I have some, it's first I heard of it.
I know in Florida, which I'm fairly familiar with, they have what you call ABC, drive-throughs like McDonald's. And I'm assuming they card everybody. They have a regular drive-up window, and that's how they take care of their customers. So, you know, I'll just leave it at that. But I know it's working down there, like you said, down in the south for some time, and I don't hear of any problems. I kind of stay up with the news when I'm down there. So they're quite active in watching where their liquor is. As you all know, spring break is an issue in the south, and they've been taming that issue. The kids are finding a hard place to go and have fun with liquor today because they're banning them from a lot of areas right now. So I think it's being patrolled fairly decent. Could it be better? Sure it could, but anything we talk about could be better.
I see this happening with all the grocery in the near future, thanks to Amazon and Kroger and the move for more customer service. I'll make the motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the premise description for Ultimate Mark LLC DBA Pick and Save number 8107. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 10D, action on amendment to the Barnes & Noble Planned Unit Development for proposed site alterations located at 2492 to 2498 South Oneida Street. Mr. Gerbers.
The property owners at this site have been monitoring a few parking issues for the past several months and possibly over a year since the site's been vacant. So they are requesting an amendment to the PUD that would include the installation of a fence barrier that could be located along the north property line, so between their property and I believe the property at 2476, which is the Qdoba, Jersey Mike's strip mall. What they've been witnessing is the, for convenience factor or for oversight of missing the parking lot or the driveway entrance, people that are going to patronize at 2476 South Oneida are actually parking in their parking lot, walking over the curb and into the adjoining development to patronize those buildings. The concern from their perspective is now that Aldi's is going into that facility, they do need the parking for their tenants. Therefore, they're requesting to put the fence up to try to curtail that. The property owner and I guess the facility manager for the adjoining property, they have kind of worked as much as possible with the tenants, correct as much as they can, but unfortunately, you can't always correct everything that the general public is going to do. Sometimes it's an accident, sometimes they, like I said, they missed the driveway. But with this, they're proposing to put up a 4-foot-high chain link fence. Originally, it was a galvanized one. From a staff perspective, that was definitely out of the question. They went to a powder, like a black vinyl coated chain link. It's still not something from a staff perspective that we feel is a proper barrier between two commercial developments, where you actually have customers that are going to probably frequent both facilities. So therefore, from staff perspective, the request is to deny the amendment to this PUD for the fence location. And the Plan Commission also did deny the request at their meeting with the condition, I shouldn't say with the condition, but also with the idea of trying to have the two property owners work together to create a curb cut between, so that the vehicles could flow between the two properties. That would actually allow for the ones that do miss the driveway to circle back through, get into the parking lot where they need to go. We just don't feel that a fence is the best conducive thing for trying to generate business in that general area, actually for any 2 developments.
Right. I put a letter in your packet that I received, an email. My suggestion at Plan Board was, like Todd said, if they would put a curb cut between the two properties, it would allow the people who miss the driveway to get into the Jersey Mike's place to go back around and go through the Aldi's parking lot and go into the Jersey Mike's parking lot. I think that that's a much better solution. I just don't see putting a fence. It just is not going to invite people to walk. It's, you know, when people park at the mall, and then they look and they go, oh, let's run across the street to Barnes and Noble and get a cup of coffee from Starbucks. Well, or they go to Birkenstocks and they say, oh, let's run over to Barnes and Noble and look at a book. I just don't think that it's friendly, consumer friendly, so I would prefer to see a curb cut. I don't know if they can work it out, but I don't like the fence idea. I don't think it's good for business.
I don't have verification, but my wife was by there yesterday, and apparently there was a curb cut being cut
Oh, really?
from what she saw. Now, I know we don't have verification of that, but that's what she was led to believe by the equipment that was there.
You don't believe your wife?
I didn't say that.
Oh, all right. All right. Just wanted to make sure.
Just in case she's watching, huh, Mike?
We'll stop by there to verify or take a look at it, because I have not been contacted from either property owner for the past 2 weeks on it. But I know, like the chief just mentioned, with Aldi's being there, they do have concrete cutters in there for different things, so hopefully they're able to work something out and get a curb cut between the two, because that would be the best solution.
I'll make the motion to deny this.
Can I, just a minute, being on the Plan Commission, like Mary said, we did deny it. I thought it was not good business practice to put fencing up between businesses. Mary did the description of people want to walk to and from different areas. They can't do it because of the fence. But I agree, it does not belong there. I don't think it even looked nice there. But it was funny, right after the Plan Commission meeting that night, I went by there the next day, and the whole thing was fenced off. And I'm assuming it's because of construction.
Yeah, that
But
is-
I also made the statement, with all these coming in, they generate a lot of traffic. I'm assuming they'll fill that parking lot up, and I don't think you're going to have a problem after that. But, you know, I go up and down Morris a lot. I see people parking in Buffalo Wild Wings and walking across the street, and vice versa. You know, you can't control people to where they park. I'm associated with a lot on Broadway that we've been working with. You know, you can tag them, you can talk to them, you can do whatever, but when your back's turned, they'll just park where they want.
Is this fence request, is it allowed per statute, per ordinance?
It would meet that because it's a 4-foot-high fence. It could be located there, but with this being a planned development is where the, from a staff perspective and from a plan commission perspective, was not looked upon favorably.
It needs village approval, village board approval.
So it does meet statute, but this is, because it's a planned unit, we can beat that.
That is correct.
Okay.
Todd, they could come to the Board of Appeals and appeal this, couldn't they?
I don't know if they can with the plan unit development. I don't believe they can.
Okay, okay.
Go ahead, Michael, give her a shot.
Yeah, I made the motion to approve,
To approve
deny.
the denial?
or to deny.
Okay, we have a motion to deny the request
I'll second the denial.
and a second. All those in favor of denying this request, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 10E, review and action regarding a site plan for the proposed Bullfrog Stadium located on parcels VA 89-7 and VA 89-2. Mr. Schutte.
All right, what you have before you is the site plan approval for the new, possibly Bullfrogs, possibly something else, stadium, to be located immediately south of Village Hall on the former CTI property. In the package, you'll see the design for the stadium. It holds roughly 2,500 fixed seats. It has room for about 500 people on a berm in left field. There's a room for 6 kind of suite areas within the top part of the former CTI building. As part of the reconstruction, there will be a second floor actually put into what is currently a 40-foot high bay for cranes. So a new second floor will be constructed in there. There'll be 6 suites, a entertainment area, and also a second floor seating area will extend out towards the first baseline for some additional seating. A couple other design aspects of the stadium itself. The outfield wall running roughly from right field line to little past center field is proposed to be shipping containers. That was chosen as a material due to a couple of reasons, one of which being cost. In order to construct a wall that could handle a wind load, the wall itself would be approximately 20 feet high. To construct the bracing for a wind load to support that would be very expensive and extensive. The shipping containers were looked at as a more inexpensive way to construct a very high wall because in right field it's going to be a very short porch. During the introduction to the stadium that the Big Top Baseball had the other day, they did say that because of the short porch, they may be looking at a number of left-handed hitters. Down the line, it's about 295, but it will be, again be a 19-foot, 19-inch wall. So we'll take a good poke to get it over that wall. A couple other aspects of the stadium itself is there's actually a pole building on the site that will be relocated from where it is currently towards the left field line. That will provide additional restrooms, concessions, and storage areas. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have regarding the, one other thing I should mention is there were conditions of approval brought forth by the Plan Commission. Those are in your packet. And in the conditions of approval, you will note that the public safety conditions were forthcoming yet. I do have those today, hot off the press. I'll read those out to you so you have those for the record. As far as the shipping container use, no storage in shipping containers unless all IFC and NFPA applicable codes are met, including IFC Section 315, NFPA 101, Chapter 42, and NFPA 1, Chapters 20.15 and 3.4. Commercial cooking or ventless fryers. All commercial cooking equipment, including the noted ventless fryers, must be UL listed, as well as being installed and maintained per manufacturer's recommendations. Recommended to have automatic fire suppression installed for all commercial cooking equipment. Elevator size. Allow the minimum interior dimensions of the elevator car to be 8 foot door-to-door length by 6 foot side-to-side width in order to allow adequate room for public safety personnel as well as emergency equipment, including stretcher. Just a couple more. Proper egress from field during all events, concerts, various sporting events. One of the unique features of the stadium is that it will be all artificial turf, and as a result of that, we'll be able to host multiple different events, including baseball, soccer, concerts, movie nights, other community events. In order to handle those types of events, proper egress and number of emergency exits for each event must be clarified and approved by public safety, pending the factored occupant load determined by the state of Wisconsin. FDC location must be on the west side, Holmgren Way of both buildings. Thread type and diameter of connection must be approved by public safety. Knox box location, install a Knox box on each building, main concourse, maintenance building, for fire department access per Village Municipal Code 13-3-78S. And last, fire department access roads, more of an FYI. Currently, the only true fire department access is Holmgren Way. There are driveways, parking lots to the north, east, and south of the property that could serve as fire department access for certain emergencies, but they're all situated on neighboring parcels. Please consider this if there's ever future plans by business owners to modify these driveways, parking lots, or placing of fencing along lot lines of these neighboring businesses. So again, that's hot off the presses, and I appreciate Dan Peterson's time in getting this together on a very short timeline. Chief Dunning is here as well to answer any questions you have regarding that aspect of the conditions.
Aaron, we don't have copies of that, do we? I'm not finding them.
No, that you don't. That really just came in at about 5 o'clock today.
Okay, all right. I'll just try.
When you say shipping containers, you mean the kind that are loaded off of ocean-going vessels that we see pulled by trucks and they'll, is that what you mean? Okay,
That's correct.
Will they be piled too high or one high?
Too high in right field out to center field, and then there'll probably be 3 or 4 single high out toward left center.
They'll be coordinated in color and all that business?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
I guess you answered the question. I was, forgot who I was talking to. Anyway, I asked the question whether they're going to be used for storage, seeing they are storage units, but they will not comply with standards that the safety department has, so it will be just a wall. Now, there's going to be a solid, you brought up a good subject, wind load. There's going to be a solid base that these sit on, I'm assuming, to anchor them down, because we are no more than putting a trailer home there, less wheels that like to blow over when winds get pretty strong. So how are they anchoring these to prevent them from, if we would have a bad storm, to hang on to the ground?
They will be putting in sonotube footings, and the containers themselves will be anchored to the sonotubes.
Okay, all right.
Aaron, I know the parking's being addressed as this moves along. What's Madison? I know Madison's has been successful in getting businesses on board. What are they doing down there to give the business incentive to help out with that?
Sure. So Big Top Baseball, as Trustee Zerble alludes to, they also operate Breeze Stevens Field in Madison, which is in an area where there's no parking. And what Big Top Baseball does is they work with surrounding businesses to, if the businesses are okay to allow stadium goers to park there, Big Top Baseball will staff them on behalf of the business and show that you can park here. If there's a business that says, you know what, I don't want people to park here except for my customers, Big Top Baseball has told us that they will staff those as well to keep people away who are going to the stadium. In terms of getting businesses to cooperate, what they do is they typically work out some sort of deal with the business, whether it's tickets or events, somehow allow them to partake in some of the events at the stadium.
Oh, Chris, that was a good question. One fast question. I did not notice any parking on site. Is that right?
There is actually some parking on site.
There will be?
There will be. Very limited, but I believe there's a total of 4 spots on site to handle, 2 of which are handicapped, 2 of which are general purpose to basically during the week access the fan store or pick up tickets.
Okay.
There is actually a drop-off lane that we're proposing from the Village Hall employee lot driveway to connect over to the parking area to create basically an ADA drop-off area, so someone can get out of the traffic at Holmgren Way, drop someone off, and pull back in.
Okay, all right.
Where are our parking spaces gonna be?
All over.
That's what I figured. Yeah, right.
Doug is putting our seats on top of Village Hall. With the little
There-
swimming pool.
We don't have any parking there at all?
We will be, are proposing to use some of the Village Hall parking when Village Hall is not being used, which of course is right next door. And then other than that, they're going to be working with the businesses, similar to what they do at Breeze Stevens Field.
I know that they're even going to work with Nativity Church to see if they can work something out there and have people park there. So I know I was in the office one day and they called. They wanted to know the number of Nativity, so I presume they're following through on that. So where that went, I don't know.
I did work with Big Top Baseball a little bit and identified about 1,300 spots within a quarter mile of the stadium. So, I think it's just a matter of them going out, and they are actually doing the legwork to assemble those spots.
Is this just information?
No, sir, this is for approval.
Oh, it is board approval, okay.
You have cost estimates on this yet, roughly?
We're going through the bidding process right now. The bids will be awarded or opened 7th.
Everything was delayed, so the special meeting we were going to have on the 2nd, we will not have. We'll actually do it on the 14th.
Oh, so no meeting on the 2nd.
Correct. So Terry, I think, was reaching out to you guys to do a meeting before, I think she's resolving today whether there was going to be Public Works and Protection and Plan Commission. And then there'll be a brief meeting to award the contract. Then the bid award would be the Friday previous.
2 o'clock
Yes.
or later?
7th. On the 7th of August is when they're due,
No,
assuming
Yeah.
that they get an addendum out shortly.
Special village board meeting is going to be on the 14th, I believe, at 5.
At 5, okay,
Right.
thank you.
And so we will have costs at that time.
Director Schutte, could you forward me that list of information that you just explained?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
5 o'clock. 5 o'clock on the 14th is a special village board.
I'll make a motion that we approve the site plan with staff conditions as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the proposed stadium with the conditions that Aaron just explained and staff recommendations. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. F, discussion and possible action on funding for dark store lobbying efforts. Now, I have to say before I give the mic to Allison, we did authorize $2,000 towards this effort. We got an email from the league that said that the city of Oshkosh has said that if any municipality were to pledge $10,000, they would match it. The city of Oshkosh is the one that last year when I went to the workshop down in the Green Valley, I think I was, I don't know, somewhere like that, Green Lake. Anyway, the mayor from Oshkosh said at the roundtable meeting I was at, he said, I just wrote a check last month to Walgreens for $304,000. And if you have a Walgreens in your municipality, you at some point will probably write one also. And I know we authorized the 2,000, but I wanted all of your opinions on this. Ashwaubenon has a huge commercial area. And if you read in it says that we have, our tax rate could go from $19.65 to $25.70 per thousand. So I just wanted your opinion. We don't have to do it. We've already authorized 2,000. But I just wanted discussion on this, and I wanted to know how everybody felt about it, that Oshkosh will match the 10,000. I'm not saying that we have to do it. I'm not saying that that's the direction I want to go. I want your opinion on it. We do have a lot to lose. It's huge for us.
Does the League of Municipality give us indication on how much money they generated so far to proceed with the issue here?
No, I did not talk to Jerry. yet.
Nothing?
Their goal is to reach $75,000, and so when they initially sent out the email request to all municipalities who are members trying to generate funds, when we, amongst the local administrators, they were asked, there was kind of a email went out and said, what is everybody contributing? For the most part, locally, people were contributing about $2,000, but they have significantly less overall assessed value and significantly less in terms of commercial value and what would be at risk for each of them.
Where would if we said yes, where would the other 8,000 come from?
That would be Mr. Wenholz. I went and talked to him about it. It would come, we could take it from last year's excess funds.
You could take it from that, otherwise it's likely that we will be under budget this year overall, so we can put it in the budget, and this year's budget would be able to absorb that. But worst case scenario is we could take it out of 2017 funds if you'd prefer.
Well, when I talked to Mary and Allison about this last week, I was a little skeptical, but I'll tell you, I think for our taxpayers, for our local taxpayers who pay on their homes, first of all, the property tax is very regressive. It's just a terrible way to raise funds to run government, but that's the system. And so I think to protect our homeowners in this community, I think that's a good thing to do. To okay the extra 8,000 and go up to 10.
You know, I have to say, Ken, that is the one thing with if they don't close that dark store loophole, that's who it falls on, is
Right.
it falls on our taxpayers, because the taxpayers and the small business people, they don't have the funds to hire the fancy lawyers to get through that loophole. So they are the ones that suffer.
I understand why we need to contribute to this. I have a real problem with elected representatives not standing up to the
Yes.
Speaker of the Senate and the Assembly and saying, we want a vote on this. They're asking us to put up $75,000 or more to try and get these people to do their job, which they should have done in the first place to protect us, rather than knuckling under to corporate interest and WMC.
Amen.
I agree there,
I
Mike.
agree. I agree.
We've discussed that, I believe, when Mr. Steffens was here.
Yep.
And he kind of stepped around it. He didn't really come right at us. And I kind of think writing a $10,000, well, let's say an $8,000 dollar check, then the $34,000, I think you said, Mary, for whatever community had to pay them back.
304.
Who?
304,000.
$308,000 looks
Yeah,
pretty cheap
that was
to me right now.
Oshkosh.
But
Madison
you're
pays
right, Mike. Our representatives that we have been dragging their feet, and I've said this before, we are losing more power within our communities
bet.
with them not protecting us than I've ever seen in the political life that I've had around here. We are getting to say less and less. So I would agree with the additional $8,000, because we gotta cover, or get this thing put to bed. It's a shame we're doing it with money, and the people that have the money, meaning the legislators we're paying the big dollars for, are not doing nothing about it at this time.
I'll make a motion that we expend a total of $10,000 as requested in item 10F. So apparently that would be an additional 8,000 to the 2,000 we've already authorized, and to be taken from the 2017 excess funds.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second
I got
to...
a question, please.
Yes.
Just being kind of one of the newbies here, how effective has the League of Wisconsin Municipalities been when things like this have come up?
The League of Municipalities, Chris, is actually our voice That's who represents the local municipalities. Their lead, I'm going to say their lead lobbyist is Kurt Watinsky. He's remarkable. He is outstanding. So if anybody can get it done, it's going to be Kurt working through everything. But yeah, they're pretty effective, the league. Allison, what did you want to add?
I think they're very effective. They're probably the strongest voice we have. I think the problem is they're competing against people with big dollars and big money, and their only resource is cities and villages. They don't, there's probably some efforts with counties or something on various topics, but counties and towns aren't members to the league. And overall, the league also, our liability insurance and other things are connected with the league in terms of work comp, liability, property. And the benefit of that, not just in terms of we have insurance that's cost effective, but there's a lot of issues that come up potentially through litigation that they also are willing to, for example, in this particular issue, our coverage through them provides us with up to $50,000 of coverage for legal expenses and challenging assessment cases. So they provide additional resources to us that are of value and that really do everything they can to protect municipalities that we might not otherwise see if we were all on our own.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, seeing we got a municipality meeting coming up this fall that anybody's invited to here, I wonder if that's a subject they're going to discuss on.
Oh, I'm sure it
I
is.
think it should be if we've got anything to say about it. If we're spending that kind of money, they better let us know how they're doing.
When we had the dark store day throughout last November, December, throughout the state, we hosted over here at our community center, and the mayor from Oshkosh was there, and I talked to him again, and there's a lot of, Mike just said Madison wrote bigger checks. What's aggravating about all of it, and I don't remember exactly what business it was, so I'm not gonna say, but their assessed value was at like 5.8 million. They argued that it was not worth that. It was worth 2.8 because it should be valued the same as this store over here that was empty and dark. They sold that building for like 8.2 million. But they lobbied and got the price that they paid taxes on down to 2.8. So it's just really frustrating as a municipality because it's the residents that suffer. The residents in your community are the ones that their taxes go up. So it's a big deal for Ashwaubenon. So thank you very much.
Well, not to beat this to death. Well, did we vote? You want to
We
vote
didn't
first?
vote yet,
Okay.
but we have a
All right.
motion and a second to increase to 10,000. Any more discussion, or did you want to vote and then have a comment, Ken?
Sure.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much.
Well, we talk about the legislature and how bad it is. It's bad at the federal level. I mean, it's non-existent at the federal level. But at the state level, it's getting worse. This isn't the only issue. Look what they did to us on conditional uses.
Exactly.
They did the same thing, and
Short term.
you'll see, I think there's this Friday, I believe in Ashwaubenon Howard Hobart Press, there's going to be an article, and there was an article in the Wall Street Journal on July 10th
Yep.
about private investors buying homes for investment purposes. And they did a study of the leading communities. Guess which one was number one?
Yeah.
By a long shot.
Yep, 90%.
Green Bay.
Green Bay,
And most of that's
Wisconsin.
in Ashwaubenon, so it's not
Yep.
just Green. But now, it was based on percentage increase, so you got to take it with a little bit of grain of salt. But nevertheless, it only involved the last couple of years, and we did have homes already that were short-term rentals, and Green Bay was far, far and away the lead in the whole country
Yep.
in terms of investors buying single-family homes, and it's all based on the legislature sticking it to communities and taking away our authority to control short-term rentals. So they're doing a bad job down there.
Ken, the one thing I'd like to add to that is, yes, we are a smaller community, so less amount of homes that are going into that affects us, but that shows how much more it affects us.
Yeah.
You know, it's huge, especially in Ashwaubenon, to lose that housing stock is terrible. And it's not people that live in these houses and then do that. It's people from all different states that do it.
Right.
So, but that's a different discussion. Okay, thank you very much. I'll send Jerry an email and he'll be ecstatic. Okay. 10G, update on vehicle registration and Green Bay wheel tax. Mark brought this up.
Yeah, Allison brought it up to us, sent it out to us here earlier this week or last week, I believe, and I asked her to put it back on the agenda because Green Bay City Council is considering this wheel tax, and it's affecting Ashwaubenon residents as well. Until the DOT gets their things together and everything, because if you have a Green Bay address registered with DOT, you're going to be
Paying the wheel tax.
paying out that wheel tax.
Yeah.
And I am very disappointed in that another municipality can institute a tax and it affect us, and we don't even have any say about it. So I don't know how we're going to get this word out on this, you know.
So it's been out on our Facebook page, it's been tweeted, I believe Jeremy added it
put it on
to
our-
our website as well. And I think we're hoping to get some press coverage as well.
Yeah.
So if any residents watching this, it's on the front page of our website. So if anybody is streaming us or will be looking for us on YouTube, it is available on our website. And basically it's a link to the DOT website listed under, essentially it's where you keep your vehicles, and a process in which you all have directions, but for television purposes, essentially you can confirm where your vehicles are located, and if your vehicles are, you have multiple vehicles registered to the same person, it should all show up, but not all your vehicles might be registered the same, so you do have to verify what they come up as actually shows up lower on the screen than what the correct one is usually up at the top, and you can click a box and it'll change all of them to the right municipality. But if it says Green Bay with a parentheses with a C after it, that means it's registered in the city of Green Bay by virtue of your zip code or whatever you use to enter it, and that's how the wheel tax would be imposed.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
on the back of that form, you're right, Allison, it does say, I've always wrote a Ashwaubenon on there to let them know that I'm not in Green Bay. And Mark, I didn't know this till I read it this afternoon.
Yeah.
It's like, holy cripes. You and I, you know,
Well-
we have more than one vehicle. It's like, are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
Well, we got to get it out there to everybody that's in Ashwaubenon, because I don't want them to have to pay the extra money.
Right.
It's not just Ashwaubenon, it's Howard, it's Hobart, it's
Right.
Bellevue,
Right.
it's everybody.
You know, we are
Collectively, but-
fortunate in the fact that we can use Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin as an address.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know
I
that
don't.
Howard can do that. I don't, you know, so, but yeah, you can use Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin for any of your address stuff.
Is there a way to do a flyer or a poster or information session at the blast, Mark?
Maybe a water bill?
For the car show?
We can pass everything out we want there, I mean, I don't know if that's
Can we
going to get
put it in the
everybody.
water bill, Doug?
Water bill?
Water bill?
Yeah, everybody gets one of that.
Next water bill would go out at the end of, the end of August. So we'd be able to put something out at that time if you want.
That might be a great way to get people to think of it too and be aware of it. So,
Okay.
okay, thanks, Mark.
Yep.
Thanks, Allison, for seeing this and sending it out on our Ash Flash News.
I have to give credit to Paul Everett and Howard, he's the one that told me, so. But in the local administrators have been talking about it in terms of anybody considering the wheel tax, so if in case anybody thinks we should look at it, the data is really hard to get because you don't know how many cars you truly have because of this data problem. So as people try to figure out how much money, De Peers considered it, Green Bay obviously considered it, they're getting estimates of how much money it'll raise because they don't have a total number of wheels that they actually have. And so it's a little ways out from solving that problem.
Okay,
It's funny this was brought up at our political circle this morning. drinking coffee, the wheel tax was brought up. Did Green Bay pass that is my question?
Yes,
Yes.
Pardon?
They did?
yeah.
That I didn't know how to answer. I know it was in front of the committee, but I don't know if it was approved. I know it went from $25 to 10, if I remember right. But was it approved? I don't know.
I believe it.
I thought it was
15.
approved,
I thought it was approved to 15.
yeah.
I could be wrong.
Well, we can find
Just as an update, at our Public Works Directors meeting last week, this topic came up also, and the Public Works Director for the City of Green Bay said that it did go through and it did pass. They have, I think it's 3 readings of an ordinance before it takes hold or whatnot, and it had gone through the first reading and everything had been passed, so it is going to be part of their
It did.
their
pass.
operations, yes.
Okay.
Would that be on your property tax bill then? Is that where they would?
No, it's the next
show up?
time you register your vehicle. Next,
Oh, when you register your vehicle?
yeah. Correct, starting January of 19.
Wonderful.
Okay, great information. Okay. 10H, action on resolution number R7-1-18, authorizing amendments to industrial revenue bonds, Valley Packaging. Any questions?
Move to approve resolution number R7-1-18. It's complicated, but it really doesn't affect us.
Right.
Correct.
Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve resolution number R7-1-18. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. 10I, action on ordinance 07-1-18, creating section 6-8-410 regarding massage therapy licensing. Mr. Walkowitz.
Yes, as a result of a recent complaint to public safety, we did some additional review of our local massage therapy licensing. Recently, the state engaged in licensing with a variety of requirements for massage therapy individuals engaging in that practice. And as a result of the state doing this licensing, we're proposing this ordinance to cover those who aren't licensed by the state. So it would have a twofold effect. One, to push people to get licensed by the state and shift that licensing burden, I guess, on individuals to the state, as well as our ability to cite people who are not licensed by the state, and that would be both either an individual or a business. So if they aren't licensed, then we can cite them and engage in further enforcement action. So really it's to kind of incentivize people to get licensed through the state and allow us enforcement capabilities if they are not.
Okay,
Move to approve ordinance number 07-1-18. We reviewed this at Public Works, and it was approved unanimously.
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion and a second to approve ordinance 07-1-18. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. J, review and action on the purchase of a 2018 loader with wing and a plow. Mr. Martin.
At the complete opposite end of the scale of of discussions before you tonight is the quote award for our front-end loader that was in the 2018 budget. We have 2 loaders in our fleet currently, 2001 Volvo and a 1988 John Deere. This unit would be replacing the 1988 John Deere. We received quotes from the 3 main manufacturers, all that have local suppliers of those pieces of equipment. A thank you out to our mechanics, Mike and Spencer, and then to Steve and Lee for going through these specs to get a piece of equipment that all 3 companies could bid on and that also matches what we use on a day-to-day basis. That also reflected in the numbers that we got in the quotes. Because when we had the initial specs pulled together last year, we were given budgetary numbers of around 235 to 240,000. The low quote came in at $197,526. They did a real nice job pulling specifications together, and that low quote is for a Volvo loader that would actually match in terms of make the one that we currently have here at the village, so we'd be able to interchange some of the parts, which makes it beneficial. So recommendation from staff would be for awarding that quote to Airing for a 2018 Volvo loader for the amount of $197,526. And with that, I can answer any questions.
Doug, I'm a cat man and I'm a John Deere man. They're a little bit higher. I guess the question I have for you, how does the Volvo compare in cost of maintenance versus, I know a cat's good and I know a John Deere's good. I don't know about the Volvo.
In all honesty, the John Deere has a little more cost to it just because it's older. If you take it year by year, maybe from age, you know, when it was 2 years old versus the Volvo when it was 2 years old, it's more how you operate the piece of equipment. If you beat it down and don't maintain it, you see your costs spike. Otherwise, we've been pretty fortunate with the Volvo that we've had. We've had very good luck with it. Haven't had any spikes in replacement cost in it. That isn't to say that the other two pieces of equipment aren't good. There just isn't anything that leads us to believe, likewise, that there would be higher cost associated with one product over another.
Do you think the difference in 11 and 3 is rounded out $15,000? You're going to save that much in upgrading to something of the cat brand?
Airing's been around for a long time. They're still in Ashwaubenon as well.
Pardon?
Airing equipment has been around a long time and is in Ashwaubenon. They're local. I mean,
So
there's
is
nothing.
Caterpillar.
I understand that. But I don't think we can take the next highest bidder just because we think Cat's better when they meet the specs.
I'm not looking at as spending more money, I'm looking at it as a maintenance standpoint. Would the cat be better?
Yeah. We don't have any information that would
Nothing
lead
on
us in that direction.
Okay. All right.
I'll make a motion that we approve the bid from Airing Equipment Company for $197,526.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the bid from Airing Equipment for $197,526. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, and kudos to our Public Works Department for keeping a plow going for 30 years. That's pretty amazing. Okay. K, 2018 street tree pruning contract bid. Mr. Tim.
Bid specs were written and sent out to about 17 contractors for pricing on pruning for the village street tree pruning program for this year. Areas were identified at the November 2017 tree board meeting, and they were recommended that we prune in areas 1 and 3, as shown on the maps in your bid packet. The areas are identified by basically, where have we been pruning the longest. So the areas that are shown in purple on your map are the areas that are been the longest since we've been pruning in that area, which was 2007. That area roughly corresponds with management area 1. The bids unfortunately came in a little bit higher, quite a bit higher than they have in years past, for a couple of reasons. The economy is a lot better than it has been. There's a lot more work out there. And quite frankly, the contractor that's been doing the work has been giving us a really good value on the work they've been providing. So unfortunately, this year, the prices have caught up with the services that we're getting. Selner Tree and Shrub Care from De Pere was the lone bidder. Their bids came in quite a bit higher, and my recommendation is to prune in management areas 1 for $26,890, and then continuing in work Area number 3, as budgeted, resources allow up to $35,000.
I'll make the motion to what he just said.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to do what Tim just said. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
What did you just say? We got it, we got it, we got it.
We'll be pruning a lot of trees, Ken.
Okay. Action on Pioneer Pathway bid recommendation.
This project is going to be taking place at Pioneer Park. Basically, it's going to be an asphalt pathway that's going to connect the existing pathway that terminates near diamond number 5, and will connect that diamond with the parking lot along Pioneer Drive. It'll be 10-foot asphalt, and then there will be stairs that's going to be a direct route down the hill to connect that at 2 different points with the parking lot. We had 2 bidders, Martel Construction and Express Excavating out of New Franken, and New Express Excavating was the low bidder at $46,450, and the recommendation is to approve them as the contractor for that project.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a
I
second
won't argue that one.
to award the bid to Express Excavating for $46,450 for the Pioneer Pathway. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. M, action regarding resolution number R7-2-18, authorizing the submittal of an application to the WEDC Idle Sites Redevelopment Grant Program.
What the hell is
Aaron.
The requested resolution is a requirement of the grant application process from Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation for their idle industrial sites program. The program authorizes grants of up to $500,000 for the reactivation of idle industrial sites, those sites that are greater than 5 acres and have been idle for 5 years or more. The CTI site upon which the Bullfrog Stadium is to be developed meets those criteria. So what I'm doing is I'm putting an application in to see if we can get some funding to help offset some of our budgeted dollar amounts for the stadium. It's a bit of a shot in the dark, but if you don't take the shot, you'll never hit one. So we're giving it a shot.
Move to approve resolution R7-2-18.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve resolution number R7-2-18. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. That's for the
Mary?
the new Capital Credit Union Park.
Does this $500,000 have anything to do with the $500,000 that was being held for the park in Green Bay?
No, that is with the stadium district monies.
Okay, it has nothing to do, okay.
Correct.
We're fighting for that yet?
We will probably go back there. We had to cut out a really good amenity, but we'll probably go back there and see what we can do. Okay, N, 2019 budget timeline.
Oh,
Greg?
I seen that somewhere.
This is going through the process of for preparing for the 2019 budget. We work backwards, very similar timeline to last year. November 27th, the fourth Tuesday in November, we need to formally adopt the budget. We'll have a public hearing that day, and we go backwards. The key date for you as a board will be on Tuesday, November 13th, will be our full budget review, joint review meeting with Finance Personnel and Village Board. From there, staff will kick off on August 22nd, and then you can follow all the steps in between there where they have to have it in to me on September 24th, and then from there we start having meetings individually with president and village manager all the way up until the budget books are submitted to you on November 2nd. The exact same timeline as last year, just the date is one day off.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. Number 11, items for next agenda. Anybody have any items for next agenda? Call the staff. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We're done.